Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, I basically had a chance to go hands-on with it behind the scenes at Ubisoft Forward, and I got to play it for roughly about an hour or so, and I'm just going to come right out with it. I really enjoyed what I saw. So for those that aren't aware, this is a sort of Metroidvania reworking of a Prince of Persia Sands of Time-esque sort of approach, and I think it took a lot of people by surprise when it opened Summer Games Fest. Not only because it wasn't the Prince of Persia game we were all expecting. I think the Prince of Persia game we were expecting to see potentially was the Sands of Time remake, but obviously that is kind of in development hell at the moment, and so Ubisoft clearly want to give us something Prince of Persia related, so they've given us this. And I think the important thing to factor with this one is that you don't actually play as a prince with this one. So Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown is totally disconnected to any Prince of Persia game before it, but it does have a few familiar and recognizable elements. But obviously this is a 2.5D Metroidvania action-adventure platformer game. Those are a lot of words, but all you need to know is that you play it from a side-on perspective, and you play in a different version of Persia, kind of out in the open this time, and you play as a sort of warrior on the up and up, not a prince. Crucially, you do not play as the titular Prince of Persia, and he's also got a group of friends known as the Immortals, which he is going on this adventure with. And crucially, you do have a select collection of powers, and I really enjoyed them, more on that later, but the kind of main twist from a thematic perspective and story-wise is that you don't actually have control over time yourself, like the prince in the original Sands of Time trilogy. The antagonist of this story is the one who's actually able to control time and space and how those come together. I got to explore 2 biomes, try and take on one boss, which I did manage to defeat after 5 attempts. It gave me a run for his money, and overall, there's lots to enjoy. Online, there's a lot of disappointment about the fact that this is like a pared back game and it's not the kind of full AAA treatment. But let's not forget, Ubisoft Montpellier, they are the studio that gave us Rayman Origins, Rayman Legends, 2 of the best 2D platformers to come out easily within the past 10 years. So they've been quietly working away on Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. What immediately took me by surprise was just how snappy everything is. You've got a slide, which also serves as a dodge. You've got a quick attack mapped to like the square button, as if you were playing on a DualSense controller, PS5 controller, as well as ranged attacks in the form of like a ghost bow mapped to the triangle button. And then as well as that mapped to L2, you've got a sort of counter button, which feels really satisfying, so enemies can come in, and this is very stylized. Like I said, it still takes place in Persia. It's still kind of like cartoony in design a little bit, but if you time the counter perfectly and the enemy's not got a lot of health left, it will trigger this kind of super stylized contextual maneuver where the prince will either, I don't know, dash straight forward and attack an enemy, or in some cases leap over depending on the angle that you're approaching enemies at, and the screen will kind of like slow down, turn into black and white, and there'll be like this big inky blood splatter that happens across the screen. But in addition to your normal attacks, which there isn't a light and heavy attack, it is literally just like a quick attack and a ranged ability, you also have a sort of like meter ability system where you can have 2 types of attack mapped to a special ability. You've got 1 and 2, and basically you can build up your meter by countering, attacking, just doing the usual type of things, and then it's absolutely your choice about when you choose to dish them out. So my level 1 ability for this demo was a simple kind of like massive large-scale heavy attack with a camera zoom straight in on the warrior's face, and then kind of like, you know, dishes out, I don't know, a high octane attack where it's like boom, 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 as opposed to, and it's basically just knocks them back. It can even break through sort of like tough shielded enemies. And then the second attack, if you're willing to build that meteor up twice, he would slam down, smash a potion, and then create an area which would instantly heal you. But obviously you can leave that area, it'll stick around for, I would say, around about 10 to 15 seconds. So if you take damage in that time, provided you can get back to that area, you can re-heal. So the big boss enemy at the end of this section was kind of like this griffin type beast. It was kind of like a lion with like wings on the back of himself, and he really put me through my paces, kind of like whooped my ass for the first 4 attempts, like I said. But once I worked out how to use that tier 2 ability, I was able to store that and kind of strategically know when I was going to use it. So overall, Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, is it the Prince of Persia game we were hoping for? Probably not, but I'm definitely going to play it on Switch when it comes out because it's coming as early as January, so not too much longer to wait. It's not going to be in development hell like the Prince of Persia Sands of Time remake, so some good news there at least.